Hello, it's time for tea at 3 and I'm in the woods looking for my favourite beverage at this time of year, and I don't know if you can guess what it is, but it's right down here at my feet. It's highly underrated and it's free, and it's the humble stinging nettle. Now, stinging nettles have been eaten over hundreds and hundreds of years, particularly before we had modern vegetables like cabbages and kale. But now, of course, they've fallen into disuse and disrepute, probably because of the stinging. But if you think about it, why would a plant bother to sting itself, or have stings? Sorry, it has stings because it's worth eating, and so it's trying to protect itself. And it's definitely worth eating. It's an amazing plant. It's got lots of iron in it, lots of vitamin C, which is great because vitamin C helps iron to be absorbed in the body. And interestingly, it has quite high protein content, apparently about 5.5%, which sounds quite high to me, which is amazing. And the way you can use nettles is, obviously I'm going to have them as a cup of tea, so I'm going to just pick some of this. Now, I don't have gloves on. You may choose to have gloves, but I just pick the top. And much better when they're young. So I've just picked the top few leaves of the nettle very firmly between my finger, my forefinger and thumb, because there is an old poem that says, from 1753, that says, "Tender-handed stroke a nettle, and it stings you for your pains. Grasp it like a man of metal, and it's soft as silk remains." And it's pretty true, actually. If I take this very firmly, I certainly don't feel it when I'm holding it. Just sometimes afterwards I get a tiny little tingle. But again, for you, if you want to give it a go, especially if you're picking a lot to put into soups and things, then you might prefer to wear gloves. The thing is that as soon as you cook it, those stings disappear. Or you can steam the nettles, the stings disappear. And the other thing is, if you pick longer nettles, or though I would say the younger shoots are the most nutritious and soft to eat, if you pick longer stems and you're having a little campfire, then it's great fun to hold it over the flame, just above the flames of the campfire, and they sizzle up and just become slightly crisper, and they make a delicious, very delicious snack that you can eat straight away, because all the little hairs have been frizzled away. So you can use nettle tops in soups, as I've already said. You can mix them with the wild garlic that I mentioned yesterday, which makes a gorgeous pesto. I would steam the nettle tops first. You can put them into make a beer. I've tried it, and I'm afraid I'm too devoted to normal beers, particularly Belgian beers, and nettle beer doesn't really cut it for me. But give it a go if you want to give it. If you're a brewer and you like doing things like that. It's historically been put in as an ingredient as part of haggis, and it's been used to make a very nutritious broth, particularly at the time of the Irish potato famine, because people realised how nutritious nettles were. The medicinal benefits include, obviously, from the iron. It's a great tonic for the blood. It's a great booster for your general immune system, which we all need right now in particular. It helps against arthritis, or certainly to alleviate possibly some of the symptoms of arthritis, and that can be through drinking the tea or eating it in foods. But also, perhaps bizarrely, there's a long history of people stroking the nettle on the affected part of the body, and of course you get some tingling and maybe burning sensation to start with, but people report that ultimately they get quite a few hours of relief afterwards, and that will be from the histamine. And it can also be taken to help reduce hay fever symptoms and other allergies. And then finally, apart from it being just the most amazing food that's free, it's a fantastic wildlife plant. So 3 of our native UK butterflies rely on this for their caterpillars. So have fun. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea now. Do make sure you take your nettles from a clean area that hasn't been sprayed with chemicals and hasn't had dogs around it, etc., or other kind of livestock. But you can always wash them as well, of course.